Hello, this is Teacher Wayne, and I'm just continuing my PHASER game series of how to use a JavaScript-based web-based gaming engine, and I'm demonstrating my asteroids game here. But my focus this session is more about the troubleshooting. So I'm just going to troubleshoot two simple things and show you the basics of troubleshooting. So what I've done is I've copied and pasted my version 2, so I had something working to a certain extent there. I'm not going to play it because it gets very loud. It's got the music. Well, I will, actually. I'll come after it. It's quite loud, I can't really speak over that, and you can hear all the sound effects. What I've done is I've copied and pasted the version 2, and I've edited out, commented out all the sound playing. So I'll press version 3 here, so there's no annoying thing, no annoying music, and you can hear me quite clearly. Now one thing I want to say is, what you will notice, can you see all the asteroids drift off? If I started again here, can you see the original asteroids? They get to the edge and they bounce. There's 4 of them, they bounce. But when I destroy them and the children are created, as in they spawn from it, they go and wander off. So there's one problem I want to troubleshoot straight away. That's an obvious one. Another thing I want to do is I want to create another level, because I've got level 1, I want level 2, I want to go to a level 3 now. So I've added another level as well, so that when I kill all the asteroids it actually progresses. So I've added that as well. Another feature is I've increased the screen size. So I'm going to go through all these different changes that I've done. And I'm just going to come after it now and go to the code and show you some of the stuff I've done. So this is my code. So first of all, let's go to the index. Now, I've added an endgame script here, which basically says you've completed the game. This, by the way, is almost a copy and paste of the menu, and all I've done is I've said from you died to that. So I've had to change some minor things here. One thing, by the way, when you aren't copy and paste, you've got to remember that these are, well, it says basic game, can you see that says end game? If you just copy and paste in that, you end up with menu twice. So you've got to be careful that you re-edit that to what the name of the file is. I always try to link the name of the file to that there. That says level 1. And that says level 1. These are just basic troubleshooting tips I'm giving you straight away. That's level 2, level 2, level 3, endgame, menu, and the index is your master HTML. By the way, one reason to use index is when I click on that there, it automatically looks for the index. It will load this up automatically, so it just speeds up running a game. So I've got a load of folders and I know it's going to run, and I've added endgame and level 3 to this here as new states, which I sort of covered in the last session really, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. I've just put the title. Another thing is I've increased the screen size from 800 to 600 to 1024 to 800. So let's just get on with the troubleshooting now, as I've just done that preliminary stuff. So I'm loading up the game here now. So if you notice, they bounce off the edge. When I shoot one, they don't, they go off. So you won't be able to actually complete this level because I can't shoot those because they've wandered off into infinity that way. So let's troubleshoot and diagnose that. So how do we do that? Let's go to level 1 first. So we have 2 main functions in each of my levels. We have the create function and we have the update function. So let's go to the create function where the actual asteroids are created. So the original asteroids are working, so there's something in the create function that works that's not in the update function. That's the first observation that I have. So let's go through the create. Where are the asteroids created? Well, they're created here. There's 4 asteroids created. There, 0, 1, 2 and 3 the code. But he never actually reaches 4 because it comes out of that for loop. So it creates them scales them to max size, and here we are. Sprites is the master variable, S is each individual asteroid. That's the first thing. So the sprite settled worlds collide, so that bit there defines how it bounces with the edge of the world. So this bit here is the bit that my first guess is not in the update function. So let's have a look at the update function. This is all about moving the player about. This is about firing bullets, screen wrapping. So screen wrapping the main character here, collision handlers. All this is to do with even the bullets can wrap around. So I've got that. So what we want to do is sprites is one is the actual asteroids here. The bullets hit the sprites. We have a collision handler and a collision ship. Collision ship is where you die. Collision handler is what we do with each asteroid. So let's have a look here. There's collision handler. Right, so it destroys each asteroid, increases my score, and this bit here says if the score is greater than the last score, more asteroids. Right, okay, so that's checking that I'm using score as my sort of way that I'm using to count the asteroids, because I know that each asteroid is worth a certain score. So I've got last score here. Last score is 0. Alright, so I'm increasing it. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm just checking if I've killed off all the 4 main asteroids. As we kill each asteroid off, we actually spawn more asteroids. So that's just more asteroids there. And it passes the variable round to it. So there's here. So this is the function that creates more asteroids. So here is where it spawns new asteroids. So there you are. This is the bit I want to look at. I'm spawning new asteroids here. Sets the scale, so reducing them in size. So as we're shooting them, they get smaller and smaller, which is what this is, the scale size. Now, if we go, remember that bit, let's go up here, there. But we need these 3 lines. There's no mention of those 3 lines. Where is it? More asteroids here. So we need this code, copy and paste him. So I'm going to copy to level 1. More asteroids. Just going to put it here, outside the for loop. I'll tell you why in a second. Save that. S is each individual asteroid. Sprites is all the asteroids. So I'm setting all the asteroids to collide on the board. Let's just see if that bit works. I've saved it now. Now, because I made a major change, I'm going to go Shift F5. It refreshes, that's the cache. This version 3 again. So now I'm going to shoot an asteroid. And now watch what happens. They're bouncing off the end of the world. There. But I've only done level 1, so that means if I go to level 2, let's just go, there's level 2. I've got more asteroids because there's 6. I'm going to destroy some. They're going off. There. Can you see what's happening? They're not working. So now I've got to, for level 2, do exactly the same. That's level 1. So I'm just going to get that code there and go to level 2. Scroll down to exactly the same area. More asteroids. There. That's what I wanted. Save that. And I've done a level 3 as well. Now, because I've added a 3rd level. The beauty of creating code like this is it's very, wrong button. It's very much rinse and repeat code. It's what's known as repeatable, reusable code. It's one of the things we use a lot in coding, is we keep reusing code. So this here, this function, more asteroids, I could have copied the entire function. there. So now each of the levels, let's just test it. Shift F5 because I made a major change. It's always a good idea to do Shift F5 when you start coding. I'm going to now destroy all these asteroids and get to level 2. Anyway, level 2. I know level 1 works. Let's see if the baby's asteroids bounce. Yes, they're all bouncing. So now none of them will escape. So hopefully we'll get to a level 3. He says, hopefully. There's level 3. We got to level 3. Okay, so we've got that working. I don't want to redo any more on that front. So now we've got, basically what I've done is I've done one basic bit of troubleshooting. Just using a bit of logic, I got it so that the sprites are now bouncing off the edge of the world. Now, that's a fairly basic bit. Now, one thing I want to say is, quite often, because we are reusing code, we've done a lot of copying and pasting, a lot of copy and pasting, tweaking, a lot of copy and pasting, tweaking. If you copy and paste, you can make mistakes. So let's do one that you might not spot it. Say I've just copied and pasted all that code here, and I miss the S off the beginning of the sentence. I'm going to save that. Now this is on level 3. I'll tell you what, I'll put it on level 1. Because I don't want to play the entire game to find the error. So I've put a deliberate type of prites thing. Shift F5. I'm going to press this here. So the game looks like it's working. Brilliant. Shoot. Now you notice it freezes. This is quite often. There's nothing on the screen to indicate what the error is. You've got no idea what it is. All we know is that this bullet is hitting that asteroid and that's when it crashes. So we could guess it's through the collision detection, but it's not that obvious. So I'm going to introduce you to something called inspect. So in Chrome we can inspect. Now in other browsers you can do a similar sort of thing. If we click at console, we get all these. Now it looks like there's loads of errors, which is why it's a good idea to use this before you start to troubleshoot. But here is the bit. All this is not talking about my code, but this one mentions the word level 1, level 1, level 1, level 1, level 1. So we know that this one here is our code. These are warnings, so they don't stop the game working, they're just warnings. We don't have to worry about that. Here is the key one. And it says, uncaught reference error, prites not defined. Now obviously I know that prites, I just did a typo. But if you don't know that, you might just that. So if I click there, it actually opens up the code and highlights the actual line, puts the X at the end. There. If I go to the beginning, I can verbally see that I've got sprites there and prites there. So that is a really simple troubleshoot. I can just save that sprites and I go Shift F5. I'm going to leave this screen open and put it back to console. Can you see? It's going to die, I'm going to die. Oh look, I've got a screen size issue. I'm looking at that. This one, because it's not really, it's just an artistic thing. So let's shoot. There, it's working now. You can see the game runs. This uncaught error here is actually, it's not stopping the game, so I don't need to worry too much about it. Also, there's nothing I can do about it because it's got nothing to do with my code. This is the JavaScript engine error. But it's working, so I don't need to worry about it. So I've done some fairly basic troubleshooting. I've just also added another level. Just to do a quick recap of what we've seen here. I'm just going to go back to the beginning. A lot of the problems you're going to have with the sort of stuff that we're working on is what I call common sense. You are going to be using reusable code. You are going to be copying and pasting. So the code tends to work if you miss a semicolon. I've noticed that if I just delete a semicolon there and save it and Shift F5, it will not make a blind bit of difference. Semicolons don't tend to cause problems. Missing semicolons, it's quite tolerant to semicolons missing. But if you're making typos and you are copying and pasting, you've got to be very careful about how you copy and paste. It's a good idea to read. Another thing to pay attention to is I tend to call this is level 1, I tend to call this here game state, and I match it the file name as the game state here. 1, this is just my sort of help tips. Make sure that matches that. This is Wayne's Idiot's Guide. That level 3 matches that, game matches that. In the index, make sure they're all first of all referencing the script. They're all obviously in the I've got an SRC folder, so let's show you that. Give me 1 second to pull that up. I'm just looking for it over here. So there you are. So I've got a folder called SRC. That's my index file. There's my game engine, and SRC. I've got all my scripts in there, and I call that the same as the game state. It just makes things easy to troubleshoot in-game menu. So these are obvious things to do. I tend to have little menus as well to actually display stuff on the screen. Obviously this is not the right screen size, but you can fiddle with that. That's not too difficult to troubleshoot. Here's the master size I've set. So there's quite a lot of hints and tips that you can pay attention to. I think I've just given you the basics of the troubleshooting. I think the big thing to remember is this inspect business here, where you can look at the console and it shows you what's happening. Now a lot of the time you're going to get this happening here. You don't need to worry about it. It's when the new ones appear that reference your game. So anyway, this is Teacher Wayne's short little video, some troubleshooting, some diagnostics, how to add new stuff, and a lot of hints and tips as well. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you're going to create some nice web-based games. Anyway, thank you very much, and don't forget to like and subscribe my videos, and goodbye.